This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins.
First, I want to thank you all for coming today, and I want to ask one question of all of you. How many dog owners are there by a show of hands? Wow. How many dog lovers? Hey, the rest of you can leave on the side. Like many entrepreneurial things, they start with a need by the entrepreneur. I have a golden retriever whom I'm completely in love with. And the very thought of leaving him in a kennel, which I have done, I confess, occasionally, was just terrible. The idea of putting him in a prison, which is what a kennel is. Forget about paying for it, it's still a prison for the dog. And then going away and enjoying myself on the beach, or taking the sun or swimming, it just was too much. So I thought there must be other people like you who are out there and feel the same way about their dogs. So I felt there's a market for it. I did a little logistical research and I found that there are 77 million dog owners in the United States. That's a hell of a lot of dog owners. And among these dog owners, there probably are quite a few dog lovers as well. But they probably share, I felt, the same apprehensions I feel about leaving my dog with a kennel. Now, the idea was to form an organization. I can't open up a special kennel for dogs, but I thought of an organization nationwide that would offer people who had these feelings the opportunity to leave their dog in a home environment, probably with another dog lover who had a dog also. So the dog really enjoyed himself and he was on vacation while you were. And I started to look into it, and I found that many of the people who have dogs share the same views. And there were competitors out there. I call them competitors, not really. One of my favorite competitors is, you probably heard of him, the Dog Whisperer. He had a television program for many years. And he formed a company called Dog Vacay, which received about $2 million in venture capital money to start off with. Wow, what I couldn't do with that, or a portion of it. But anyway, he started Dog Vacay, and it was enormously successful. He's still around, they're still advertising it. You probably get emails from it if you have a dog. But the difference between Dog Vacay and Dog Care Exchange is money. I don't mean the money he received, I mean the money he charges you to leave your dog. What he did was organize other people who have or did not have dogs. So many of them were just people who wanted to earn a little extra money. They weren't earning on their job, and they said, look, I have a studio apartment, I'll take your dog in. Well, I would feel funny about doing that. I don't want to leave my dog with somebody who doesn't have a dog, who doesn't have a house with a backyard, etc. So, and also I didn't want to have I'm sorry, I lost all my train of thought. I didn't want to have dogs that couldn't enjoy themselves in a home-like environment. So I thought, instead of, by the way, some of these Dog Vacay, not dog owners, but Dog Vacay people who would take your dog, charged more than some kennels, some less, but some more. Some as many as $40, $50 a night. Now if you're going away for a 10-day vacation, that isn't chicken feed. So I decided to form this Dog Care Exchange, which was basically a cooperative where you joined for a yearly fee, a very small fee. I started with $39 a year to join, and I lowered it to $29, and right now it's free. I couldn't get enough start for the organization. Everybody I talked to, and I'm sure you're feeling the same way if you're a dog owner, said, wow, what an idea. I'd like to leave my dog there. But it didn't grow. And one of the things I'm hoping for today, to making this pitch to you, is that through your love of dogs and your being a dog owner, that you will get to me with questions that may put me in the right path, and I'm speaking of you two gentlemen as well. I can't think of anything else to tell you about it.
All right, we'll turn it over to the panelists.
Okay.
Great. Nice job. I think you spent a lot of time talking about your competition and less time about your model. And I'd like, if I can right now, if you can tell me a little bit more, how does it work? How did you get some people to sign up for your, call it a beta, you know? Tell me a little bit more how it works.
Okay. That's a very good one, thank you. I didn't have much capital other than to to get the website going and to form the corporation. So I really lacked the marketing money that I wanted to put into, let's say, pay-per-click or something that would just get people to have some knowledge of it. That's the problem. No one knows about it. They discovered my company by accident. I've got 50 people subscribed nationwide. And they subscribe for free, so I make no money on it at all. It's a nonprofit business at the moment. What was the other part you asked?
How does it work?
Oh, how does it work?
I sign up to your co-op.
Let's
give
say
you
that,
money or I don't.
Yeah, let's say that you saw the somehow in an email, or not an email, but in the website, or you were attracted to it. You saw Dog Care Exchange, and you felt like many of us here feel that you didn't want to leave your dog at a kennel. You were going to go on a business trip or something. And you went into www.dogcareexchange.org and you looked it up. You saw this, and you saw what about us. You saw the services, and how it works was simply you filled out the little thing up here where it says "Join Now."
Right.
Take a guilt-free vacation while you're away from home, and then you filled out all the information and you became a member. You used PayPal if you had to pay. If it was free, you didn't do a thing. That's all how it works.
So can they search parts of the country on your website to see what's
very
available?
good. Yeah,
can they see the dates that are available?
Exactly.
Okay.
In the website, there is a setup. So let's say you're in Charlotte. You would bring up your Charlotte. If you're in Charlotte, you can only bring up Charlotte. You can't bring up any place else. And you bring up Charlotte, and you'll find hopefully a list of 20 or 30 members with what they have. They have 1 dog, 2 dogs, they have an apartment, or they have a house with a closed fence where the dog can run around. And you get all this information. If you'd like that person, you give them a call. Now it's up to you to decide whether that is a safe place to leave your dog. So you would go over there and you would see maybe introduce your dog to the other dog, say to you, if they get along fine, let's make a deal. And that's basically how it works.
Just one suggestion you might want to consider a pivot. You may want, like there's websites like Need a Sitter where you go to find a babysitter.
Okay.
Maybe your site could also offer the opportunity for people that do dog walking, and so you can leave your dog at home and someone comes to your house in case you don't want to take your dog to someone's apartment. So it might be another option to increase your attractiveness.
All right.
Good job on the presentation. I like the way you started out because you engaged the audience, and I think that's always an important way to start out. So good job on that. I wasn't at all clear. Was this an investor pitch? Was it supposed to be an investor? I mean, help me understand what your pitch was.
Yes,
supposed
basically it was an investor pitch.
Okay, all right.
Because if I had the money, I'd be advertising all over the nation.
Okay, got it. So on that front, then a couple of observations. So you need. I think you needed to have a clearer definition of the problem you were solving, right? And the problem, I think, is and I've done this before, and I don't like to put my dog in the kennel for a week or two, but cite numbers, right? I mean, if you put your dog in the kennel, what does it cost you? I mean, it's several hundred, if not more than that, dollars, to do that for a week or two. So you've got a cost function there. I think it's then also important to say, do you really want them kind of caged, depending on what the kennel experience is? I mean, you could have had a graphic there that showed a really bad kennel experience, right? With dogs kind of lined up. And again, I think some of this is an emotional appeal to your customer, right? Because they're dog lovers. They want their pet to be, taken care of. And I know there's, what's the place here? There's a place here in town that's...
Pet Paradise?
Well, it's one that's ridiculous, right? Where they actually do the, I think it's the one. Is that the one with the TVs and the pillows and all that? I mean, but it's amazing to me what people spend, right? And I think that's an important thing to get up there to say what you're offering. I think from the competitors that you got into and talking about Dog Whisperer, the fact that they took money in, I think that needed to be crisper. It's sort of like, okay, if there's competition there, why are we better, right? What are we doing that's better than what they did? And you went from, hey, we're charging this, but we didn't get any traction, which is good to know, but not necessarily if you're pitching to investors per se. So that didn't really give you that wasn't a positive, right? You also alluded to the fact that, and again, I'm not sure how long you've been doing this, but if you only had 50 subscribers so far, right, and it's free, I think to the point he made, right, that the market may be telling you that a pivot of some sort might be important, right? Because if you're not getting traction at free, and I also think it's a typical chicken and egg problem here. That there are a lot of dog owners out there, and I would also cite, I would have had some statistics. How big is the dog market? How much do people spend? Because it's a ridiculous amount of money, right?
It's billions.
And if you're doing that to potential investors, I mean, get a little bit of size of market out there. I think that's critical. I also think, and you made this point as well. The business model. Has somebody done an exchange model of sorts, right? That's actually been successful. And how did they drive it? I mean, and use that as the analogy of, okay, we're going to be to dog care, or that as whoever it was successful using this same model. So those were, I think, the main points that I had.
Sure, I'd like to add, often I give advice for entrepreneurs, depending upon what their industry is, to solicit champions within that industry and target them to perhaps invest as well as be a board of advisors. I mean, maybe there's some large chains of pet store like PetSmart, or someone that you can go ahead and approach that is, they're all dog lovers, and I guarantee you all those board of directors are, and maybe one of them this idea may resonate with, and that may be an opportunity to kickstart.
PetSmart might be bad because they have a kennel.
I don't own a dog, so I don't know. So
I'd be a competitor to them.
Yes.
I thought of PetSmart though, yeah.
Great.
Okay.
All right, audience, how about you? Yes.
What is the benefit to the person taking in the dog? Are they financially rewarded? What's in it for them?
Good question. No, they're not financially rewarded. They're a fellow dog owner who would make use of the organization being a part of it. When they go away on vacation, they can find someone to leave their dog with too.
So do you have any way to vet that other owner? Because I think of things like care.com and other things where you're trying to get someone to watch your kids or whatever. A lot of people I know consider their dogs their kids. They don't want to leave them with just anybody. Is there any way we have to think about how to vet who that person is?
Yeah, that's why we say in what to do. When you become a member and you want to find some place to leave your dog, it's up to you to exercise your responsibility, go over there and make sure that there's the kind of a home you want to leave your dog with. If they've got a vicious pit bull that wants to tear your dog apart, you're not going to leave them there. And once you decide with the other dog owner that you're compatible, then you make your deal, and it's all free of charge. Each of you are members of the same organization. Yes.
It's similar to couchsurfing, right? And there will be reviews and everything, but more for dogs. Obviously.
Is there what?
Is it very similar to couchsurfing? There's a website, you sign up, you go somewhere, you sleep on their couch, but you have your house available in case people want to sleep at your place every once in a while, just random traffic.
I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds very similar, yeah. I would say.
Even scary.
Yeah. Or home exchange or something like that, yeah. Something, yeah.
I'd actually be interested to hear from our lawyers here. What if your dog or their dog, whatever, bites somebody? Who's responsible? Because if you're in the exchange and you're the one setting things up, it seems like you could be held responsible for a dog that bites somebody else.
If I understand the law correctly, only if you act like Dog Vacay, the competitor, as a broker. Then you're collecting the money and then you're giving it to the dog sitter.
But you're a
we're just an organization, and it's up to you, if you're a dog owner, to have insurance, which I'm sure you have, so in case your dog bites somebody in the neighborhood.
But the point is, you're a business, right? How are you ever gonna make money? If you don't, if you don't have subscribers giving money.
Well, the subscriber has to,
But if you do take money,
yeah.
then you are a broker.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about the law. Yeah, okay. You have an opinion on that?
I'm not a lawyer, so I'll defer to the lawyers.
Yeah, so I'd have to research that particular issue to know whether or not you qualify as a broker, but I do think that he's onto something with his part of the vetting process. So maybe part of the vetting process would be proof of insurance to cover that.
Yeah.
Maybe part of it's creating, finding a partnership with a local, emergency care vet that's in each major city that you're looking to be in, where that's possibility is that where your dog's going to go and you're comfortable with that in advance. I think from a larger perspective, though, you're asking a lot of buy-in for the customer, for your clients, in terms of going to verify. And I think what might help would be like a more robust profile for the people who would be taking the dogs in. So it could be pictures of the home. You can see the backyard. Personality characteristics of the dog, maybe a short video.
A rating system.
Rating system,
Right.
which
Testimonials.
there for the rating system, but I think that might help people become comfortable with who they're going to be leaving their dog with in advance.
Great
Of course,
idea.
they're still going to
Great.
verify that by an in-person visit, either before or at the time when they're dropping their dog off to make sure it's not, sociopathic. But I think that could potentially help get more customer buy-in.
Well, and one of the models that you could look at, and again, there's a lot of differences here, but the technology in terms of what they set up is Airbnb, right? In terms of you're doing a lot of stuff around homes and rentals, and did get into a whole bunch, and are still in a whole bunch of legal issues, but that would be probably not be a bad thing for you to take a peek at, and how they show off some of the places that people want to go stay. It's a little bit like the couch surfing.
Sure. So one thing you may want to consider is looking at Rover.com. So I know that we use it personally, and it's there is a transaction, you do pay a fee to the dog sitters, but they're kind of best in class for this. So you might want to take a look at them and see how they.
It sounds like Dog Vacay. Have you visited them?
Yeah, but Rover.com, they have profile. Just take a look at them. They have profiles.
Okay.
They have robust profiles. We've actually, the sitters that we use, we've actually been to their houses. We're very comfortable with anybody we use from there. Just take a look at them and see what you think.
Okay.
So.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the presentation was really good.
Thank you.
I'm an innovator, so I don't like to be critical of ideas, but I'm not sure the idea is going to work in that I'm also a mother and dog owner. And people see me walk my dog every day, but no one has ever asked me to exchange sitting their dog. And I have a lot of neighbors who have dogs, but people love their own dogs, but it gets complicated just like with children when you mix personalities. And sometimes you just have to put them in a kennel. Just like you have to pay a babysitter or get the grandparents in. I just don't know. I think if it's an idea that's really going to work with exchanging, I don't know why neighborhoods aren't already doing that. If you see what I mean? Because people know my dog.
Well, they are doing it. There are outfits out there, but the isolated places. I think there's somebody in San Francisco that does it for free, but they make it up by having advertising from various dog manufacturers of products on their website. And there are isolated cases around the country like that, but nothing nationwide.
But I think what she's trying to say is if they're not doing it organically in their neighborhood, just by, hey, I'm going out of town this weekend, can you watch my dog? Then maybe there's not a market for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I have the same problem. I walk my dog every day. I'm in a subdivision of 850 houses with many dogs. Everybody knows me as the dog walker because I'm always walking my dog. But I wouldn't think of going to my neighbor who has another golden retriever and saying, would you watch him? I wouldn't do it. But I would look in an internet and see, oh, here's somebody that has an exchange, who belongs to my organization, a dog care exchange, and that will willingly, I don't have to ask them, but I know that they will do it if they're in town. I don't know if that answers the question.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
And thank you.